Hi everyone.
Hello.
Okay, so just a bit of a okay, let me just want to wish everyone a very good afternoon, and I'm so happy that you are able to join today. And I just want to give you a hearty welcome to DJI Enterprises webinar, and we are just in collaboration with Work for Life, and you'll hear from Rebecca soon. So my name is Michelle Hamilton Kibbett, and I'm the president of DJI Enterprises. And we have DJI Enterprises Learning Hub, which is where you are right now. I just want to thank each of you for taking the time out to be with us today. Just a few housekeeping before we start. I just want you to keep your microphones off just because it will interfere with the presentation. So if you could just mute your mics, that would be appreciated. And also, I just want you to be aware that this is a recorded webinar, and the reason is because it's for marketing purposes. So if you have your cameras on, you will be recorded if that's okay with you. So, whether you are exploring a new career, returning to the workforce, or looking for a meaningful profession with stability and purpose, you are in the right place. And I'm so grateful that you're here. So, at DJI Enterprises Learning Hub, our mission is very simple. We empower individuals to explore, evaluate, and decide on career pathways with clarity and confidence. We focus on helping adult learners and career changers make informed decisions before committing their time and financial resources. As we say, don't just guess it, test it first. That's our motto. And the reason for that is because with today's changes to student funding and education costs, with frustration and inconsistencies in students' commitment to degree programs, and with a high concentration of the presence of AI, it is more important than ever to choose the right path. So, one that leads to real employment opportunities and long term growth is what everyone is concerned about today. So, healthcare continues to be one of the most in demand and rewarding fields. And that's why we're proud to offer a range of health care and career exploration courses designed to prepare and guide you. So these courses are designed to help you build foundational knowledge, understand career expectations, and prepare for success in programs such as the Personal Support Worker Program, which you'll be hearing from Rebecca today, and other healthcare roles. We are here not just to provide healthcare courses, but we are also providing courses in community services, accounting, business, law, information technology, and so on. And these are based on high demand. So, our aim is to provide direction, clarity, and support every step of the way. That's very key. So, in addition to our experienced facilitators, which we do have a few, or experts in the field, they're available to provide guidance, answer your questions, and support you in evaluating whether this career path, which is what you're choosing, is the right fit for you. So, because you're here today, our health pathway courses are available at 50% off. So if you go on our website, you'll see that. And we are making it more affordable for you to take our courses. So at the end of the webinar, you will be provided with an email, a thank you email, and also it will include a coupon. And I just want to implore you to utilize this opportunity. This is a gift that we want to to share with you. And also, if you are not using that, you can extend it to a friend or family member. So for more information, I would implore you to check out our website at digienterprises.com, and I will put all this information in the chat. So that's DJJIEnterprises.com. I'll also give you the option of sending an email to info@digienterprises.com. That's info at DJJIEnterprises, ENTERPRISES.com, or call us at 1-844-DJJIENT or 1-844 355-4368. And I know some of you already have that information because just before I started the webinar, we were getting a few calls. So this information will be in the chat. Now, it's my greatest pleasure to introduce Rebecca Haggerty from Work for Life, who will be leading today's presentation. Rebecca is an advocate for Work for Life, and she brings valuable experience and insight into the PSW profession. With 17 years of experience across a variety of healthcare settings, she will provide a wealth of information about the different types of PSW work and for you to understand what it entails, and also the many places that you can work and how to acquire funding. She will help you to understand the role and the training that are entailed and opportunities that are available. She is a mom of 3 children, and she values flexibility and job security that the profession offers. So she is also able to help others who are in need. So without any further ado, I would like to welcome Rebecca. Thank you for being here, and I will now turn it over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. That was a lovely introduction. I just hope that everybody can hear me okay. And Michelle, would you mind confirming, can you guys see my slides? Okay, great. Thank you so much. So yeah, great explanation. I just like to share, or I'm here to share the career of a PSW. And I do call it a career because I feel like this is something that you can embody into your life and embark on a new journey for however long that is. If you need to work for life, because as we all probably are aware, that retirement fund isn't a guarantee at the end of our lives. No matter how long we work for, we might still have to provide for our families a little bit more than maybe what we will be receiving. So I like this title, Work for Life. I've talked to some nurses that had retired and have come back as PSWs because they find a place for them. They like still helping people, and they enjoy just being part of the healthcare field still. So it is a career that matters. Michelle touched on the AI part. I think that is super important. I am not worried about job security for the future. I know that I will always have a position, a job to lend a hand to where people are in need. So it is the perfect time to start a rewarding career, focusing on helping others by pursuing a role as a personal support worker. So I am here from the Government of Ontario, and we are partnered with Home Care Ontario, and they are the organization that represents the smaller, I wouldn't say so much smaller, there's some larger companies in there, but the dedicated home care companies that work for compassion and build off experience. So I'm really happy that I get to present for them, and I get to attend job fairs, and that's where Michelle and I got to meet, because she really wanted to bring something to her clientele that, you know, helps the people understand the role of where they could go in healthcare, or maybe answer some of these questions that maybe you might come up with regarding possible residency, or, you know, where you could possibly work, or past experience, or possibly no experience. Some of these slides might be an overlap of what you might know as a PSW already, or what the PSW role is, but I think it's important to go over those anyways. Sometimes it brings up a conversation or a question. And there's people, obviously, that might not understand that role of a PSW. So in Ontario, we are certified personal support workers. We assist with activities of daily living, such as a bath, dressing, meals, mobility, grooming, and exercise. I kind of put it into perspective that if your left hand fell off tomorrow, I become your left hand. I'm that assistant mechanism, that device that comes in to keep you safe and abled. So we support medication reminders. We do not supply or administrate medications. We have routines that help maintain or regain independence. So if somebody, I apologize if there's some background noise, but I'll just keep moving on when I hear it. So if somebody is possibly at a hospital and they come home and they need to learn how to organize their lifestyle. They need to understand the new challenges that may be present in their life. And so personal support workers have a good understanding of how to support those people. So again, help maintain or regain that independence. We help with light housekeeping tasks when needed. So a simple sweeping of the floor or mopping of the floor, light dishes, maybe some laundry, or changing the bedding on the bed. So we provide companionship as well, emotional support for our clients, but also their family. Sometimes we're working in client's home where we're very close to the family setting, and we have to, we always just remember that we're there for everybody at the time. PSWs combine practical care with genuine human connection. That's part of what I love about it. I love meeting new people and hearing their stories. I've met many families who either had connections to my family in the past, or I've helped family or my friends' families as I've been a PSW for 17 years. So that experience helps embody the care that I can bring, but also the trust of my friends. It allows me to be able to go into people's homes and make a difference. So why would somebody become a PSW? And it might be because you have real world experience. Maybe you had a situation in your family that brought you close to healthcare and what they do. Maybe you just embody the role of being a caregiver and being there for people when they need. Maybe you're looking for a high demand career because as the role of the PSW remains the same as personal care, but the differences of where we work really change. If you want a high demand career, that is a long-term care facility when you're engaged in an 8 to 12 hour shift. You have maybe 8 to 30 clients that you're working with on an everyday basis. And that can be a really, I would say, a high demand career because it's quick, it's fast paced, and it's usually contract work. So you have dedicated and guaranteed work. But you can also find yourselves in people's homes, like I was saying. So we have pathways to healthcare. If people thought that they wanted to be a nurse, they can always start as a PSW and experience that. And then there's some companies or school programs that help people bridge into becoming the RN or the RPN. Meaningful connections. I can't, I don't know. I don't know where to start with those kind of stories, because that's all I make is connections with people. And I try to help embody that connection in how I perform my work in their homes. We've got flexible work settings. We work in long-term care. I'll talk more about that actually after, but we are purpose-driven. So I get to be part of a profession that truly matters every single day. And we know that healthcare will always be something that we need to work with or have in our lives. That will always be part of our day-to-day tendencies. Sorry. I also want to elaborate on the other roles that I get to play. And I'll go back. I used to work in a flower shop. I worked there for several years, and I got to help clients build up whatever they needed to, whether we were building a bouquet for somebody that was celebrating a birthday, or maybe I was creating some corsages for the high school prom, or it was Valentine's Day and there was over 300 people that came in to buy those roses for their loved one. Very in between those moments, sometimes there was somebody coming in because they had just left the funeral and they were coming to pick out some floral arrangements for a loved one's funeral. So I had to learn how to quickly alter my presence to the people that were in front of me. You know, a birthday was very cheerful. You could be very happy and bubbly. And that funeral conversation tended to take me back into a slow, calm, sympathetic kind of motion. So when the idea to come to go back to school came, I went and talked to a private career college, and I sat down and I kind of went over some of the things that I'd already been doing by caring for people. And the career coach said, you know, I think you would make a good PSW. And in that moment, I remembered that my mom was a PSW. I remember that my grandmother was a PSW at one point in her life. And I had never connected myself with doing the role that they had done in front of me, or that they had talked about all these years. And I remember going home and saying to my mom that I think I was going to take the PSW course. And she was so excited because she knew that I was already compassionate and that I'd do well in the job. I say, if you're walking down the street and somebody falls in front of you and you're that type of person to stop and help them, then you've probably got a good heart and you would make a good PSW. PSWs don't just provide care. I get to go into people's homes and sprinkle a little bit of magic each day. I'm in somebody's house, or whether it's 8 people's houses or 2 people's houses in a day. Sometimes I'm painting their nails. Sometimes I am picking out the clothes that they're going to wear for the day, or I'm cooking them a home cooked meal, or I get to blow dry and brush their hair out for the first time in months. So I become this element in their life that brings joy sometimes throughout the day, or maybe a few times a month. And that's really important to me to bring that into my work element. So who do PSWs care for? We assist people of all ages, from infants to seniors. We have individuals with disabilities. We assist those recovering from illness or surgery. We help patients with chronic health conditions, assist palliative care patients, children with adolescents and special needs, individuals with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia or debilitating disabilities, or anyone needing personal support. There's this thing in Ontario, and it's called the LHIN, the LHIN. And if you had somebody, say a neighbor that you saw that was struggling in life, maybe you knew that he had no family coming in to help him, and he really needed some supports at home, whether that was a home cooked meal or maybe a personal support worker to help guide him for personal care. We can, the LHIN, you call and you inform the LHIN of their troubles, and the LHIN will send out a nurse to go and assess the person to see what kind of government supports we can give. And oftentimes it's 2 to 5 hours a week, maybe a personal support worker for 2 hours or so. And I think that's really important here. It really supports the community. And you never know what somebody else's situation is. So it's, I think it's a great kind of setting. And then it helps those home care companies kind of connect to those clients so that we can continue supporting people. So currently in Ontario, PSWs can work in a number of healthcare settings. It continues to grow. When I was being trained as a PSW, there was 3 settings that basically we could work in, and it was home care, long-term care facilities, or retirement homes. And within those settings, you might see maybe 5% of those people have a disability. Maybe somebody had acquired a brain injury and now you needed to support them. Or maybe one of your clients might be palliative, which is end of life. And so, hustle and bustle, but mostly senior care, elderly care. But then As the years continue to pass, I have seen palliative homes open up, which are quite similar to a hotel. There have been wards extended onto long-term care facilities just to house and not all the patients that have Alzheimer's or dementias, because these wards now have to be locked down for the patient safety and have other features to them. So as we grew with that 5% of being in those three settings, now we have this 30% to 40% of people, specific elements, having homes dedicated to them. About 40 years ago, we had hospital-style institutes for people with disabilities, and they were large centers, and then the government started to close those down. And those, I guess you could say, those created more jobs for personal support workers, because they now those people were housed into group homes. So now you have a home with 5 to 8 individuals living in a home, and then you have support workers working in those homes. So we have home care settings, long-term care facilities, hospitals, retirement homes, community health agencies, hospice and palliative care centers, assisted living facilities, school and child care centers, and private contracts. And I'm really happy to see more PSWs being hired in the hospital settings. I've heard that we've been doing roles as simple as bed baths, or taking people to have safe showers in a setting that's possibly there, or sitting with patients as they are fall risks and really helping the nurses remove that kind of extra call system from them, and really helping out in that setting. So a couple benefits of becoming a PSW right now, I would say it's very rewarding. I think you can make a difference in people's lives, and that's fostering personal growth and engaging in the community. I think that's really important. And I think personally that some areas have lost that. I live in a small rural area outside of London, and you can still kind of get a sense of community in towns and cities and within the rural communities. But we have been separated, I think, for more than a few years. So it's nice to see in PSWs kind of help embody the community element. Flexibility. You can work full-time, part-time, on casual hours, or with year-round work and diverse job opportunities. We have competitive pay wages. I'd say you have enhancing job wages coming across Indeed. You can just get a reference of how much a personal support worker is making. But even if a PSW is hired on at minimum wage right now, being a new graduate, you would receive a $3 enhancement fee from the government. So you would actually be roughly around $21. So, but it's quite often that PSWs aren't just sitting at that minimum wage, because they know, employers know how hard we work and what we bring to the community and what we bring to help their businesses. So PSWs are having we do get competitive pays. Let's go into job security. We do not have to fight with AI. We know that we're always going to be needed. There's always going to be that hands-on entity that has to happen. Of course, AI is going to help our jobs. It might assist with call bells and virtual appointments and scheduling and all that fun stuff that's behind the scenes, but no robot is coming to take my job. We have a work-life balance. So I've been a mom 3 times over, and I enjoy it because I can drop my kids off at school. I can plan my clients around my activities. I do work privately, so that allows me to be a little bit more flexible. But companies always you fill out an availability calendar, and they go off of that, and they always offer more hours if it's possible for you to pick up. Then you pick them up. If you don't have to pick them up because it's not within your hours. Okay, so quick facts. PSW certification is roughly 5 to 6 months. Most schools sit around that 6-month time frame. I'll go into more of what that training program looks like, but it is 3 months in school, 3 months work experience, and then you should, and I highly recommend you find a school that is that provides the NAC exam. It would be called NACC exam attached to your PSW training program, your certificate program. That certifies you. That is that Ontario certification board that would be really needed in long-term care facilities, hospitals, home care settings. There are some companies out there doing a PSW program, but it's not certified with the NAC program. So I would be worried. I'd look into the programs a little bit more. We are the heart of care. And I would say some people don't even know what a PSW is until they need us. And then they really respect the role. I continue to hear stories of people that come to our job fair tables and they already know what a PSW is. I'm standing there and they just have to come up and say a minimal story of how their dad had passed away, but they had some PSWs come in and they just really appreciated the work and the kindness that we brought to the job and to taking care of the dad. And I love hearing the stories of compassionate PSWs out there performing the jobs the way we were supposed to. Yes, in some cases, PSW programs are free, especially through school boards, and I can talk more about those training programs or how you could access some of these programs. But we do know that we need 50,000 PSWs by 2030. In order to keep our healthcare standards as they are now, that's the projection of numbers that the government's come out with. So I'm really hopeful that we can actually get a great number of PSWs working soon, 6 months, 9 months, get those numbers up so that we can showcase a strong healthcare system here in Canada. We have over 3,000 jobs in Ontario today for PSWs, but if you are certified in Ontario, you would be able to work in Alberta, British Columbia, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Nova Scotia. I do know that New Brunswick doesn't hire PSWs from Ontario. They will work with you to bridge you to their level of PSW, and you definitely can't be a PSW in Ontario and go work in Quebec, vice versa. But thank goodness we have that large umbrella that we can work with. So on our webpage, if you were to go up onto the top left-hand corner, we have a yellow button that talks about that government incentive. And a few years ago, during those dark years, the government had this program, this incentive that people could get the PSW program for free. They could go out and get their certificate across any school. And that was really great. It was helpful for a lot of people wanting to go and get their PSW certificate. But the problem was there was no incentive to go to work and be a PSW. So if people chose to step out, there was no way to really push back on that. So our numbers dwelled. We didn't get the numbers that we expected for PSWs. I'd say some people take any benefit that they can, and it didn't. I think that if you did take the PSW course for free, it also entered into a CERB amount in the at the time. So it was kind of a big bonus for people to jump in and take this. So the government had to reassess what that looked like. So they closed down that incentive and opened it back up to a bigger bonus. So right now, people that take the PSW course can receive up to $5,440 while completing the required clinical placement in a long-term care facility or care home. I'll just step back for a moment. If you go through this incentive, the idea is you haven't taken any other resources or bonuses or grants in place to receive this, and you can't apply until you're actively working or you're in your clinical placement. So that would again be that 3-month time frame. But if you click the link, you can go in and see everything. The website really does explain it quite well, I think, better than I could. After graduating, eligible PSWs who commit to 12 months of full-time work in a long-term care or home care setting may receive an additional $10,000 bonus. If you work in a rural or remote or northern community, you can receive $20,000. It just continues to go on. The incentives are there. I highly recommend anybody go to the page and look at the PSW expression form of interest. And it is directly from Ontario Health's website. There are some check boxes that you would want to make sure you complete before, I guess, thinking that you're going to be approved for that program. So training, I feel like it's really quick. 3 months in school would cover your PSW foundations, safety and mobility, your body systems, assisting with personal hygiene, abuse and neglect in seniors, household management, nutrition and hydration, care planning, working in the community, assisting the family, assisting a dying person, assisting the medical with medications, cognitive and mental health issues, health conditions, and persuasive approaches in dementia care. And I think those all gave me enough confidence to go out into the community and work with people in their homes. I got to really enjoy that time of learning. I dug in. I said yes to every experience that was presented in front of me. I ended up working with families with severe disabilities, from feeding tubes to trachea to catheters. And as a PSW, you can be delegated nurse tasks. So that's part of the job that I like. I like a little bit more hard work, a little bit more of a challenge situation. So I was trained to change a stomach feeding tube. I was trained how to take my client out in her wheelchair and load her into a van. And at times I felt like a trucker. I was strapping her down with these tie straps, and we would go to the movies, and I'd be wheeling her through the mall. And it just, saying yes to everything really helped me find different tasks within the PSW role that I really enjoy now. How to connect for our job fairs. We do host virtual job fairs, and they're usually in different settings. So Brampton, we would have 5 representatives for that area. And then Toronto, we'd have 5 representatives. And then for Southwestern Ontario, down by Windsor, we would have 5 more representatives. But as a PSW, I say they're kind of like a vending machine, and I get to pick my favorite option. Each presenter will have about 5 minutes to go over what they pay out for PSWs, whether they help with training, whether they have the bridge programs to help you go from PSW to RPN, what kind of people they service, whether it's senior care or people with disabilities. And so again, I just get to pick my favorite option, and it's a direct contact call for you to be able to engage with that company. So I really, I suggest if you want to participate in those, just go to the very bottom of the page, and you can find that information that looks like that, and put in your email. So I really could talk for hours about PSWs, because the difference of how and what we do for our day-to-day jobs are so different. A PSW's task in a long-term care facility is very different to a community setting where you're going from house to house. So I would rather open it up to questions, Michelle, if that's okay right now, and then we can start building a conversation.
Perfect. Thank you, Rebecca. So we have one question in the chat so far. Do you have PSWs for hire? That was one of the questions.
Yeah, I saw that. Thank you. So I personally don't have PSW jobs. The company that I work for Life, doesn't hire PSWs in that direction. But I did do some research for your area, for Brampton. There are over 20 home care companies that are actively hiring today in your area. It was very easy just to go to Google Maps and type in home care companies, and they popped up. There's 4 long-term care facilities. There's 10 retirement homes, 13 group homes. So what was the other one? No, Right at Home. Right at Home is one of our partners. They are a dedicated home care company. I've spoken to them many of times, and they are one of the the top home care Ontario. So I would say reach out to them if you're actively looking for a PSW job right now.
Okay, thank you. And there's a second question from Gertrude, I believe. Thanks for the great introduction. And can employers accept this online PSW training certificate during job application?
Sorry, let me just read that. Can employers accept this online PSW training certificate during job application? I think you would have to go through the certificate program, the 6-week or that 6-month program, in order to be seen as a PSW trained.
Okay, there's a question from Tiara.
Okay.
Hi, did you want me to respond, or were you just going to read my question? I wasn't sure. Can I ask it?
Go ahead.
Okay, thanks. So my question was with regard to integrating a palliative approach that seems to have taken on a lot of it is on the rise in Ontario, and I'm wondering about what that looks like as part of the PSW educational program, and what, in your opinion or experience or from your vantage point, facilities are doing, if they're doing more or less of this, or is it pretty much just relegated to hospices and long-term care facilities, in your opinion?
No, I think it's important for that palliative program to be in there, because we do come across it with home care and in long-term care facilities. But I think that answers your question a little bit.
In terms of education, is there more education or less education available to integrate a palliative approach to the work that PSWs do?
Oh, there's definitely added training programs that you can add to your existing certificate to help understand palliative care. I know some PSWs that have taken the doula course as well, just to help assist and to see if there was only any overlap in the training program, or things that they learned without that we didn't learn in our program. But yeah, does that answer more?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, you're welcome.
So we have a question from Manpreet Kaur.
Sure, yeah. So if we have a PSW certificate from Ontario, then we have to, again, do study to work in Manitoba. Let me just go back, and I'm just making sure that I did have that. No, as far as I know, you don't have to upgrade your PSW. A company would look at the Ontario PSW certificate the same. But I would double check before I made any moves or anything like that. Call a company and just double check that.
Okay, so Mohit, I believe, has a question about experience, 2 years of experience, I believe.
Yeah. Okay. So as a caregiver, do I need to do this course? With any experience, yes, the PSW course is needed for any company to look at you as a caregiver. PSW or RPN, RN. The experience is appreciated. It's there are some companies that might look at you and see how you could parallel into a PSW certificate. Maybe there would be some elements of the course you might not have to take, but unfortunately, I've even talked to doctors that are from different countries, and they're not able to come over here and work in the healthcare setting. So there are some. There is a doctor that I know from a previous job fair experience that I went to that went back and got his PSW and then built up a new business style situation for himself. But it is difficult with experience and with training from a different country. What will the fee and duration of the course if I already have experienced, if I'm in Nova Scotia now? And one more question, is it similar to CCA or is it higher position? CCA is community care advocate? No. I'm not sure. Sorry?
Is it community care advocate?
It probably is similar to the position, but I wouldn't be able to answer your question direct for sure. But I will go back to the fee. I'm not sure with a company that would be helping you transition into that PSW certificate if they were looking at your experience. I'm not sure what that would look like for.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, it's a continuing care assistance,
Okay.
the CCA.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it would be similar, but I would have to double check and parallel the tasks that we do. But there is, in Ontario, we do also have the HSW or HCW sometimes, and that's a home care support worker. They tend to do tasks that are more on that light housekeeping duty or tasks of personal care that wouldn't require somebody leaving a bed. So maybe a bed bath. They don't do transfers, or they're not supposed to do transfers. Same, no medication reminders, things like that. So I kind of generate it as home support workers are hands off, home or PSWs are hands on as we support the body and the personal care. And then nurses are usually hands in when they have tasks to perform, like medications, wound care, needles, surgery repair, anything like that. So
Okay. So I am an international student. So what will be the fee if I want to do this course?
yeah, so I would recommend calling a couple colleges in your area or an adult education learning center to see what the program or the course would cost. I think it changes at every location. We're not partnered, I guess you could say. We're not partnered with any training facility. The government leaves that open for you to go find.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. There is a spot on our webpage that you could go to, and it'll give you 3 different websites that you can go to, and then you can find a PSW program in your area based off of those.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, hands are up. Yeah, can you hear me, Rebecca?
Yes, I can, Amelia.
Okay, thank you very much. I most really appreciate the presentation is vast and really on point. Now I want to ask, can this course be taken online as I'm in Edmonton?
It is not. And you would see that even in the some of the courses within that PSW certificate might have modules that could be done online, but they're bringing people back into the classroom for sure for this PSW certificate. Being it's a hands-on job, they really want to build up that confidence with, maybe assisting your co-student enrolling in a bed so that you can learn how to navigate people's mechanisms and properly turn people so that they don't roll out of a bed or cause injury to themselves. So those hands-on, in-person courses are super important, I would say.
Okay, thank you very much. But is there equivalence here in Alberta that one can look into as a starter?
Sorry, a course that you could look into in Edmonton?
Yes, in Edmonton, that is equivalent to PSW.
Yeah. I think I'm hearing you correctly, but I would just go type in PSW course on Google and see does that help you?
Yeah, I think I have done that before, but I think it has a different. I think I don't know if it's that of the social work.
Okay, well, if you'd like, you can always email me after this or during this video call, and then we can kind of communicate on email, and I can help you out through there. I don't mind going a little bit outside of our province to figure out how people can work a bit better in a job that's meaningful. So,
thank you very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so there's a question from Ambibola.
Can I come in from Saskatchewan?
Yes. Yeah. The question I have is, can I come in from Saskatchewan to do the course? Will it be easy for me to get a job in Ontario, a personal support worker? job?
Well, I could spin it back this way. I think that if you made the move to Ontario, you would be happy with the success of finding jobs in Ontario once you got your PSW certificate.
Okay.
But I'm not sure of a company that would pay or assist somebody to move here for those for their work.
So there's a question. Okay, Ambibola, was your question answered?
Yes, it was. It was.
Okay, perfect. So there's a question from Fala with regards to doing courses regardless of your status. Are you familiar with that situation?
Yeah, I am. And I would say right back to right at home, that company expressed many times on their virtual job fairs that they're willing to work with internationally, questionable status, right? Some people are in the middle of a PR, some people are don't have a PR. So I think that I would just bounce it right back to those hiring companies. And if anybody would like to email me, I could give them a list of a couple more companies that I think would work with people regardless of their status.
Okay, perfect. Suzanne, she would like to get some more information regarding AI and job security. I think you touched on that in the presentation, but she needs
Yeah.
a little bit more.
Yeah, if you think about your left hand falling off tomorrow, I become your left hand. So you still need somebody to help you get up throughout the day. Maybe not without losing your hand, but you might need to learn a new emotion of life, a new tendency of new day-to-day daily activities. So I don't think that there's going to be any loss in caregiver. I think we're always going to need people to have that personal connection. We're always going to need people to, that moment that I knock on the door and I open the door because my clients already know that I'm coming. I've called the night before, or it's pre-assessed a couple days before that I'll be back on Thursday. And I open the door and I say, "Hi, Mona, I'm here. It's Rebecca. I'm just going to take off my shoes." And from the back bedroom, you might hear, "Hi, dear, I'm back here." That rewarding personal moment, we need it as people. It really helps uplift us. And I can't see that setting being taken away from us just for AI purposes or for cost management. So, and I haven't seen a robot that's able to lift somebody up off the floor yet. So I think that there's a lot of tasks that I can perform as a PSW that a robot or AI won't ever be able to perform.
Okay, so Sarita was asking, Bobby was asking with regards to other examples of additional certification that could boost the PSW profile.
Yeah, so there are so many. You can take advancement to medication to understand medications better for your clients and a better understanding of how to adapt for a client, maybe not being in a setting of being able to take medication. So that's just a small example. There's palliative, there's dementia care, there's Alzheimer's care, acquired brain injury. I have my ABA, which is an analytic acquired behavioral analytic. So I can write care plans out for people with disabilities, or it helps me distinguish and alter a way to perform a task. If maybe somebody's arguing with me, I have a good direction to take, as opposed to, sitting there and arguing with continuing to argue with my client. So there are tons and tons of courses that you can take to grow your portfolio.
And I also wanted to add that on my website, I'm not sure if anyone have looked on the website where I have courses that are in the healthcare services field. So, the point is, knowledge is power, and the more information that you have is the more you're able to be equipped to deal with, personal support work. So really, it's more of your willingness to extend yourselves. So if you want to check that as well, and for those who wanted to have the opportunity to take courses online, that's also an opportunity for you. So if you're interested, you can visit my website. And these are certificates. They're not like degree programs, but they are enhancing your existing program. So example, as Rebecca said, if you do the PSW program and you have completed that and you want to enhance in a particular area, you have the ability to take these courses online. And some of these courses you can do it in like 5 days or less because of the way the modules are created. And also most of the information are courses, like it's not information that's fluff. It's not excessive information that you don't need. They're all directed to the type of job that you're going to be doing. So if you're going to be in the healthcare field, you'll be able to enhance yourself in that regard. So I do implore you to check that out as well. So the next person with a question is from Sarita. She said she wanted to know if she has a healthcare aid certificate, does she need to take the course for the PSW work?
But you wouldn't have to, I don't think you would have to take the full course. There's some companies that have a bridge program, so they would just put you into the bridging program for the PSW course, seeing how you already have that title or the healthcare aid certificate. So I think that would help you to possibly call Right at Home or a few others, SE Health, Care Partners, VON. They would all be good people, good companies to call to ask that question about the bridge program.
Okay, so the next question is from, I'm not sure who that is, but it says, what are some of the challenges that PSW may face?
Yeah, I think that at times we can hear that people that have done the job for a long time don't like their job. I did meet a lady yesterday that when she found out that I was a PSW and I was looking to hire a PSW or express the role of a PSW and connect them with home care, she kind of got upset. She was like, I already do this job. It's hard. And I pushed back and said, I'm sorry, where are you working right now? And she said a long-term care facility. And I said, yeah, that sounds challenging because some of these settings can be challenging. Sometimes you're having to pull your from your values, your pull from different settings in your life. And I just mean that by sometimes I would be helping a client and I'd be dedicated to the client in front of me. She's got to get up and have a bathroom break, and then we've got to get down to the dining room because everybody's got to be down for 8 o'clock. But a call bell goes off. Somebody needs help, or it means I got to go. So the person in front of me is now no longer the person that's of my interest. It's got to be that person down the hall. So I've got to obviously keep my client in a safe position, but I've got to run from this person and go and help somebody else. And that's why I like home care. It is dedicated. The person that is in front of me knows that I'm there for them. There is no alters. There's nobody else coming to take her care. So each setting brings challenges. Sometimes it can be laborious work. If you have 8 showers in a day and you're going from house to house, and maybe your own life is a little bit off and it's frustrating and you've got to be a little bit up and bubbly for other people. I think some of those challenges are real, but I push back on that. I think every job has a downfall. Every job can be hard, no matter the setting. Some ECEs become early child care educators before they have children. And then that's the only career that they have to fall back on, is going back after they've raised their own children to be in a child care setting. Personally, that's why I love the PSW certificate, the role, the career, because I get to change the different types of people I work with all the time. So every job can be difficult, but I will say my grandfather taught me at a very young age that I never know what somebody else is going through. I remember sitting in his car, and old man driving down an 80-kilometer road, but he would probably be doing 75. And a car came up behind us and flew around my grandfather. And I said, Grampy, doesn't that make you mad? He's speeding down the road. And he said, Beck, that guy's wife's probably having a baby. And in that moment, it changed my entire life, because you never know what somebody else is going through. So even though I'm going through a bad day, that clock is still ticking, things happen, but I still, probably because I was taught at the flower shop to alter whoever I was in front of, because it wasn't about me in that moment, it was about them. So I learned how to push my stuff aside and be there for the setting that was in front of me. So again, some challenges can come in because we're personal, we're people, we're in personal settings, we're working with people, but I try to keep it professional, happy, and I don't try to overwork myself. I definitely take care of myself. But I hope I didn't over elaborate that too much, but it is, yeah. And the other piece is that sometimes people think that it's just a dirty personal job that we're doing. And I push back on that too, because the people that I care for, I'm pretty sure they're more embarrassed in that moment than I am of them. So again, leading with compassion, leading with honor for the people that you're working with. Even the chef, the top chef that learns how to make those amazing steaks, he learned how to wash the dishes once. Even the manager at McDonald's learned how to be the custodian in the bathroom. So even all jobs can have rewards in the end, and you can build that up. But challenges are just part of the lessons that we go through.
Okay, so we have Emilia. She mentioned, no, Tiara. She mentioned hpca.ca. Can you elaborate on that?
I apologize. I just got still work. So people are pulling me in different directions. Yes. So she's located in Edmonton, right? And as of February of this year, all PSWs are going to be regulated through the Nursing Association. So AHPCA is a good place to start to find out about programs available in the Alberta area, as well as how to get connected, because their rules have changed slightly on what that looks like. So that would be a good place for someone in Alberta to start if they're interested in being a PSW.
Gold star, Tiara. Thank you so much for helping with that question. Really, really appreciated. I'll just talk on the registration for a second. So I have heard down the trickle line. Now this incentive, this is what the Work for Life campaign has been built up off of. So this government incentive, this campaign is lasting until March 2027. So I'm hopeful that that incentive stays open, because this is the time frame that we've been given to host this campaign. But saying that, this stuff could be closed off tomorrow. The government does like to turn off a light switch every now and then, whether they're reorganizing the campaign or grant or incentives, or whether they're just canceling it altogether. I do think we all live in Ontario, and we do see the news lately. So I would just say, you can grab onto that stuff through there, but regulation. If regulation happens, it is most likely going to be that the PSWs that are already PSWs would be grandfathered into this new program. And because the change that's happening, the regulation is to help the newcomers that have experience to get working sooner than what they're able to right now, to help our healthcare system, and to manage the PSW load better. There's two things there. There's a company called Ontario Personal Support Workers Association, OPSWA. They aren't the regulator body of PSWs. And if you were to kind of click into some Google pages for PSWs in Ontario, one of her pages might show up. And I would just say, be very wiseful of what you're getting into as a PSW. You don't need to, you can get private insurance if you wanted to work privately as a PSW. And yeah, there's other resources that we could find out there by staying away from OSAP or OPSWA. And then the other piece was, yeah, that grandfathered piece. So I think that it's the regulation piece is that nurses are regulated, and if there is what do you call it? Like when a nurse gets black booked for an irregular in her job or a situation, they have to go to court. They can be removed from the nurses registry in Ontario. And it's a really hard fight to get your registration back. You have a lot of boards that you have to sit on. And anyways, I think that it's really wise for PSWs not to be registered right now. And I'm watching closely to see how that transforms here in Ontario. So we have
any more questions?
Sorry. I see one from Millicent. I'm new here and from Ghana. What are the requirements to apply? Because I am really interested in PSW. I think that would really come down to the school that you choose, but basic requirements is you're an adult choosing to go back to school, so you wouldn't need a high school diploma in Ontario, or they would be able to look at your equivalent training or certificates or diplomas that you received in your country, and then they might be able to parallel that with what you are going through for school. So there are colleges around your area that would be able to work with you. Maybe a private career college is possible for you to go to, or just one of the public colleges. But I think you would do best to call them to see what requirements there would be. Tiara asked, am I aware of any programs that help fund the PSW education? I am not, but there are some training companies that will hire you on. They will pay you an hourly wage. They will pay you to sit in school while you learn your PSW certificate. They'll pay for the certificate portion of the schooling. And then you just have to promise to work for them for 6 months to a year. Some of those companies are SE Health, VON, and or Care Partners. I would reach out to them and see what kind of interest they would be charging for that program. Find out if that program is affiliated with the NAC program. There are some companies that would train you to be a PSW, but then you're theirs and you're not able to take that certificate elsewhere. So be of the wiser on those kind of programs. And Anacito wrote, how long to get a PSW certificate? Great question. In as little as 5 months, but most of them are 6 months. It's 3 months in school, so real quick, fast-paced learning. And I heard some of the programs are even 3 or 4 days a week, so that they can just kind of get people into the school. There's a module online that you can take, and then that kind of shortens your time frame a little bit, so more like 2.5 months to 3, and then you jump right into work experience for 3 months. Those would be 2 settings that you'd be in a community setting and then in a long-term care facility.
Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it.
Thanks for asking.
Awesome. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. And I so appreciate Rebecca's extensive knowledge and experience. And I just want to ask, does anyone else have any questions? This is a good time to share if you have anything else that you would like to know.
I have one more question for Rebecca. What about continuing education for PSWs?
Yeah, I think that might come in with the regulation, but no, we don't have to go back to school. I jumped out to raise my daughter for a few months, about 9 months, I'd say, and then I jumped back in, no problem. I think those other courses are there to help people if they want to build up on that certification or backtrack and build up on that certification that they already have. But yeah, no need to recertify. The only thing that you would need to do is CPR and first aid, but that's everybody.
Okay. One more question, Rebecca. Thank you very much once again. I want to ask, for somebody that has a degree in natural and applied science, chemistry precisely, because I'm interested in this course, will I need to start all over with PSW, or I don't know?
Yeah, that would probably be a great question for the training program or the school that you go and see. I have heard some of them parallel some of those courses. Yeah, it would be worth asking for so that you didn't have to do the extra back work.
Okay.
But
Thank
I'm
you
sorry,
very
I
much.
don't know that. I don't specifically know that answer. Thank you, everybody. If you do want to chat more or if you think of a question afterwards, please don't hesitate. Oh, I just realized there was...
Perfect. And also, I saw a private message from Tiara's. I would forward that message to. Is it for Rebecca, Tiara?
Sorry, actually, it was for you.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, thank you. Okay, so also, I just want you guys to be aware that, as Rebecca explained, if you want to even go further than a PSW, as a matter of fact, it's good to start at that point. As she said, for someone who may be a chef, he starts in the kitchen, washing the dishes. So as a PSW, I do believe that it's a rewarding job, and I can share a little bit of experience where that's concerned. My mom has dementia, so I do know of the experiences of the PSWs that come in to help my mother. And there have been times in the past that I've also been in support of those who need help. I may not have done this in the same sense in terms of as a profession, but sometimes you're actually doing it without even realizing it. So if you have that kind of personality where you are passionate and compassionate, it is definitely a good career. I also have, in addition to what Rebecca had said, if you want to go beyond being a PSW, you can see me because I do have other persons who are in the field, not necessarily a PSW, but I do have registered nurse. I also have an educator. She's on my website as well. Her name is Lucille Reed. She taught at colleges for persons who want to extend themselves beyond a PSW career. And so she has taught those who wanted to be trained in the nursing field and so on. And she also has done dialysis and, certain specialization in offering medication and so on. As she explained, as Rebecca explained, you have the hands on, you have the hands in, and any hands off, So she does have all of that information as well. So if you want to see me, please do so. I did post my information in the chat. And if you want to get additional information in regards to the pathway that you need to take to become a PSW, you can also see Rebecca with her information on the screen. You can screenshot that so you can have that handy. And I really, really appreciate the fact that Rebecca was so willing and able to do such a tremendous job. I am so grateful that I met you and you were able to provide this extensive information to everyone. And without any further ado, I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined today. And I hope that it has been inspiring and you can go forward with a lot of information to make that informed decision. So that's it for now. And thank you again, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.
Thank
Take
you
care
so much
now.
for everybody.
Bye-bye.